Yo, what is going on, everybody? And today we are talking about the more finalized COD Pro loadouts on Vanguard. And we did this video a week ago when it launched, and obviously a lot has changed in the past week as pros have really started to nail down the actual meta for this game. And we have the first gentleman's agreements, GAs, to talk about as well for competitive. And we'll go over the best loadouts that you can use kind of in pubs that are OP, and then obviously inside competitive COD as well in S&D, tourneys, and playing scrims or 8s or whatever it is. So we're covering all the meta guns in this video: the STG, the MP40, the snipers, the pistols, and then the rest of the class as well. So there's a lot to go over. So without further ado, let's finally get right into this one. Let's go. Alrighty, so the first gun I'll start off with here is the MP40. And not too much has changed since the last video. There's only two debates, two updates. First, the muzzle, the recoil booster was officially GA'd. So if you're following GAs and playing competitively, you should use the Strife compensator. That's what pros are all going to be using from here on out. So the only debate is the SMLE pistol grip versus the Carver foregrip. Those are the two debates right now. And it kind of depends on what you're prioritizing: the sprint out times and the ADS times, or the recoil and accuracy. So maybe it's a debate of respawn versus S&D and which grip you prefer to use. Overall, I've really enjoyed the SMLE pistol grip. It increases your sprint to fire time by 10% and a little bit of hip fire accuracy at the cost of 5% of both vertical and horizontal recoil. I think overall it feels really, really good. When you pair that with the Strife compensator, when you take off recoil booster, you get that increase in vertical and horizontal recoil, which kind of negates some of those effects, and you get the boosted ADS time. So overall, I like that a lot. And the only other thing that's changed that pros have found, this is fantastic, is the Crossnick ISO 2M. And what this thing is literally just an improvement on your ADS. So it's literally just a different iron sight for the MP40. It's the second to last one from the bottom. It was kind of hiding down there. It increases your ADS time by 2%, and there's no downgrades. And it actually changes the look of the iron sight a little bit to make it a little bit cleaner down the barrel. So it's really, really nice. Overall, everything else is the same. Stock, the Crossnick 33M. Brace and Quick are still the proficiency in kits. Stippled, Crossnick 317 lengthened. And again, update on GAs, all damage mags and damage barrels are GA'd as well. So you can't use like the VDD short because that increases effective damage range. And then all the magazines that increase damage range or fire rate are GA'd as well. Like this, obviously GA'd. Broken in pubs though. So if you're looking for a pubs class, you know, this thing, throw this thing on in pubs. It's nasty, it's insane, and you'll definitely enjoy that for sure. So the MP40 is pretty straightforward and definitely nasty to say the least. Alrighty, so now for the STG. And the STG kind of took over the automaton here after the first few days, where like day 1 was STG, day 2 was automaton, day 3 was automaton, and then people started finding the right attachments for the STG, and people have kind of gone back to the STG now. So off the rip here, the Scythe compensator is what pros are using. Again, similar situation. Recoil booster was what they were using before. It's now GA'd because it increases fire rate. And so we're down to the Scythe compensator. Pretty straightforward there for the old pros. Obviously in pubs, you might want to go with the recoil booster, or maybe like the F8 stabilizer or something along those lines is pretty OP as well. So outside of muzzle, the only two things that are still up for debate, at least a little bit, is the stock and the underbarrel. So as for the underbarrel, there's kind of 3 debates right here, and it kind of depends on your play style. There's 3 pros that they're kind of have different ways to play. So you've got Crim, who uses the hand stop here. Then you've got Octane, who likes to use the Carver grip, which is interesting because it reduces the ADS time, but it increases overall hip fire accuracy and vertical recoil. Personally, I prefer the hand stop to the Carver grip. I think it's overall just a more balanced, better weapon, and you're not giving up any ADS time. And then what I prefer the most actually is kind of the flex approach to the STG. Obviously, I'm more of an SMG player, or flex at times in Search and Destroy when I'm pulling out the STG. And so overall, I prefer the little bit faster situation, which is the M3 Ready Grip, which is what a lot of flexes are using, like Illy right now, and those types of players. It's increasing all of your strafe times, your ADS times, your sprint out times, and your hip fire accuracy at a significant reduction of recoil. And that's definitely my preferred situation there. Compounding that with the stock. And so again, the stock comes down to how you're playing, if you're a main AR or if you're a flex. Right now, the flexes are using the Crossnick S11. Again, increases your sprint to fire times and your movement speed at the slightest reduction of recoil. Then you've got some of the main ARs using some of the other ones. So right now, Crim is rocking the Constance Tactical, and a lot of the other main ARs are running this as well. And again, if you're a main AR, it makes sense overall. A little bit of increase in vertical recoil, reduces idle sway, and your strafe speed is highly improved. So you can get that little bit more of that left to right action. Octane prefers to use this one where you're giving up a lot of sprint to fire time and ADS time and movement speed, but you're significantly increasing the absolute beams on this thing. So overall, if you're playing maybe like S&D, or if you're not trying to hit rush routes, you're trying to watch flanks, play long lines of sight, I think the VDD weighted is really nice. In respawn though, getting the extra ADF strafe speed with a little bit of that recoil or idle sway control can be nice as well. So kind of comes down to your personal preference there. And then if you're a flex trying to fly around the maps, I still like the cross nick a lot, and that's my go-to personally because of my play style. So overall, when it comes to other thing, proficiency, Vital is GA'd. Obviously, this thing is so OP. It increases your area for critical hits, so you can get headshots from like the neck up. Kind of like a similar vein as like High Caliber in older CODs, which was always GA'd, even like back in Black Ops 3 and stuff. So Focus is what pros run. But if you're still trying to play pubs or anything like that, Vital's the way to go. So the only other thing is on hand versus fully loaded. In respawns, you might want to run fully loaded. But in S&Ds, I like the old on hand thing where you can throw a stun or a smoke or a nade a little bit faster and get back on your STG. So it just kind of depends how you like to play. Alrighty, so now for the sniper, the Kar 98, obviously, it's freaking nasty. In the VDD 660, underbarrel's the SMLE. And then you've got the quick reload, the fast mags magazine, and then FMJ rounds is the go-to. Some people use lengthened, so you might want to try to experiment with how you feel about like the bullet drop, if there is any on any snipes that you like to hit. So lengthened or FMJ, depending on that situation. Then the fabric grip has generally been the go-to with a little bit of increase in ADS times. And then shrouded is probably gonna get GA'd. So it's the scope glint concealment, so there's less of a glint on your snipers. You know, you can probably run a shrouded for now, but it's probably gonna get GA'd. So then you can go to quick scope, which is what most other people are using, or maybe fleet if you're trying to get that quick weapon swap. If you picked up a gun off the ground, you're trying to gun someone, it can be nice and useful as well for clutching and search and destroy. And so there's kind of been a debate between fleet and quick scope. It seems like most guys are leaning towards quick scope to just make sure they hit that shot, but kind of your call overall. So then deep breath, of course, for the kit is your go-to. And then as well, a lot of pros aren't running a stock, but a lot of pros don't want to touch the idle sway or flinch resistance when using a sniper. And so a lot of them might be running the Reisdorf wire here, which increases your movement speed and sprint times, but doesn't hurt your flinch or idle sway or anything like that. So if I was gonna run one, I'd run the Reisdorf here, which can definitely work for sure. Now, as for the Rat, nothing's really changed for the Rat. It's basically just the rifle break, lightweight trigger, lengthened, stippled, fleet, and quick. Fleet and quick are the important ones for getting that quick movement speed and using this for like rush routes or things like that. It's the counter to using a knife. So if you're trying to hit those rush routes and search and destroy, that's the way to go. So if you're playing like respawn, you might want to consider swapping out like fleet for like panic or kit for like on hand or fully loaded. Give yourself that extra ammo as well. It just kind of depends on what you're trying to go for in those rush routes. As for perks, nothing's really changed, where double time still seems to be the go-to overall. Some people are still experimenting with lightweight and some certain rush routes with lightweight versus double time, but it seems like that right now double time is still the go-to. And then as for like radar, still the go-to. So how a lot of pros are dealing with this right now, because Dauntless, Ninja, and Fortified are all in the same perk category, is that when they have Dead Silence as a field upgrade available and around, they switch off to Fortified or Dauntless to hit different rush routes or to avoid getting pre-naded while they can still have a Dead Silence to work with in a round. And that's been pretty effective for a lot of pros so far. So that's something to consider, to have multiple classes like what I have here, where you got like, you know, the Ninja class, the Fortified class, and you're kind of rocking and rolling like that. That's a pretty good way to go. The other thing here with the Gammon Bombs and Smoke Grenades, so Gammon Bombs are basically for sure gonna get GA'd. The amateur scene already GA'd them, and the pros have GA'd them almost for sure as well here. So that's something to consider. And then as for smokes and stuns, still the way to go. And we'll see how Gammon Bombs end up working out here with GAs, but that's probably gonna get GA'd. Right now, this is the official GA list right now. Gammon Bombs, Frenzy, Vital, all damage mags, the VDD short sub barrel, and then Hollow Point, which is so OP, it's insanely OP. And then recoil booster Gammon Bombs. So that all makes sense. That's where we're at. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I mean, a lot of different changes, but overall, these are the pro classes for Vanguard. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys did, like, comment, subscribe, share the video if you guys really enjoyed it. I'm trying to do this full time and I can't do that without you guys. And Sub to the gaming channel. Posted a gameplay last night on the gaming channel, and I just posted a S&D gameplay yesterday on the main channel. Hoping to funnel people over to the gaming channel, of course. So be on the lookout for that. Appreciate you guys. And like, comment, subscribe, share the video if you guys really enjoyed it. But as always, guys, I'm your boy, Savacious Elite, and we'll see you next time. I'm out.